Whoa, now I am your host, Lambo Drew, and you are now tapped into another edition of The Leverage Show. I'm telling you what, it's getting ready to be a hot one tonight. If you don't know, you definitely better know, man. We definitely got the man, the myth, the legend himself pulling up, man, for a definitely first-class interview right here on The Leverage Show. I'm telling y'all what, y'all want to make sure y'all are sharing this and getting this information out to each and every single person you possibly can, because you already know what time it is. Lambo has been slammed today. I hope y'all had a great, wonderful weekend. I hope y'all got a chance to really reset yourselves, get yourselves back into a place where you can kind of really refocus, reset, revision, and realign yourself to continue to keep moving forward. That's what this Leverage Show is about. And then you already know, I literally had to go ahead and start the week off right with the man himself. Shout out and everything, man, to my guy, Corey P., who's going to be coming on in just a minute to definitely go on ahead and show some love and make sure you guys are getting all the knowledge that you guys need. I'm just excited, again, for each and every single person who are definitely excited in the show. People don't know that this particular broadcast, I'm trying to tell y'all this right now, I waited for this interview with this gentleman for quite some time. Like, y'all don't know how, inspirational people are, and they have tapped in with you to make sure that, that you're leveling up on your game. I literally had to tell him, I said, dude, the backs of what you have done and the books that you have actually written have actually inspired and helped shape Lambo's life, and especially shape the culture. And a lot of people don't understand that when you really come in contact with some generals like my guy, Corey P. Smith, who are really helping shape the culture, they're shaking that culture for a reason. They understand that their job literally comes with the love on one side of it, and you get the hate on the other side. It's just the side of the double-sided coin, right? It can't all be pretty. And I tell everybody it ain't all pretty all the time. But you're getting ready to hear today, in just a few moments, from a man who has studied this system down to a T. I'm telling you what, I know a lot of people who say, hey, I love my doctor, I love my dentist. People even talk about, I love my trainer. What happens when you really run into one-on-one with an actual lifestyle credit coach that really knows what they're talking about, that really can walk it, back it up, knows how this system actually is inside and out, but able to help you level up so that you can help navigate yourself so that you may win in this game called life. I'm telling you what, before we bring my guy on, I just got to give him some flowers, because y'all don't even understand, like, there's certain people in life you are meant to really run across. Corey P. Smith, if you haven't heard the name, you might have been living underneath a rock somewhere. But for those and everything who haven't heard that name, I'm telling you what, you will hear that name tonight right here on The Leverage Show. This is the man who has literally touched and changed my life before I ever had a word or conversation ever spoken with him. Never even in exchange of a message, of a text, to even be able to show love, but showing admiration from a distance and admiring him from a distance and watching him do his thing while he helped inspire so many people. He's inspired so many people in my camp. My mentees can tell me, yo, Lambo, we got the book. We read that book, Corey P. Smith, of Conspiracy of Credit, and that book helped change our life. They had people who read that book that decided to go on ahead and make that decision to really jump with Lambo and his team. It's because of Corey actually standing on the front lines that a lot of us are out here in this space, being able to talk, teach, and being able to relate to you guys what credit really is and give you guys the real 100% gospel on it, right? So before we bring my guy on, man, let's jump into these chats real quick, because I'm excited about this one. Make sure you guys are liking, sharing this video to every person you possibly can. LA Law is in the building. Shout out to you, LA Law. Thank you for tapping in. Hi, Kennard. Good to see you. The comments disappeared. You already know how YouTube algorithm is. My guy, Larry the Lion, is in the building, man. Shout out to you, Larry the Lion. What's up, LA Law, Kennard, my brother, man. Shout out to Ken. I did see you, Ken, definitely out there. Ken been waiting for this one, because that's all Ken kept talking about, Conspiracy of Credit. I've known Ken and Jamal Titus, shout out to both of them too, for the last 4 years. And literally, they made the pillar of them knowing credit or learning credit based behind my guy Corey P. Smith book way before they even met Lambo. So shout out and everything, man, for Ken definitely tapping in on that top spot. LA Lost Band showing love, the seeker of knowledge. You already know. Issa's in the building. Shout out to you, Issa, Utah, doing their thing, man. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Loving this. LA Lost showing love to Issa in the building. Issa showing love to LA Law. You already know. Hi, big brother Larry. Hi, Mrs. Johnson. Showing love to my wife. My cousin's in the building. All the way down in the boot. Back off of vacation. Fresh off of that boat. I see you out there, boy, getting your little boogie on out there, man, on that cruise ship. Shout out to my cuz back home in New Orleans, representing all the way. You already know what time it is. Issa showing love to Errol, man, in the building, man. Errol showing love to everybody, man, in the building. Errol said, I'm good, man. How are you? You already know that, man. Walking by faith. Yes, we are, man. Money's in the building, man, with the big hello. Shout out to your money. Julie Crafton is in the building. Shout out to you. You guys haven't seen Julie and Jeremiah Crafton. Make sure you guys are tapped in. That video, man, for what Bandman Kevo has done almost 600,000 views. You guys and everything, man, are not tapped in with JJC Automation and showing you how to automate your money, and they have made millions in this game, man, with so many other countless of other people. I'm definitely going to be the one to advocate you check into that interview and definitely tap into them, man, because I'm telling you, they're doing some amazing, great things. Shout out to you, Julie. You already know what time it is. I'm at home staying safe in this hurricane weather. Yeah, I heard y'all got a hurricane going on down there in Texas and coming up to New Orleans. So y'all better be safe. I think it's supposed to hit land tomorrow. So make sure you guys are safe. My prayers are with everybody out there. Here goes the man right here, Jamal Titus, man. Happy Tuesday, Leverage Show family. It's been a minute. Lambo Drew in the house. You guys know, man, Jamal has definitely, man, he wouldn't miss this show for the world for Corey P. Smith. Corey P. Smith is like this when it comes like that to the credit game. You understand? He's standing like next to God, man, when it comes next to this credit game. So Jamal Titus, man, I really appreciate you. You know, if there's anybody who I'm dedicating this show to, it is you, Jamal Titus, man. Because Jamal Titus, you have been talking conspiracy of credit to everybody since I met you. And you've been sharing this message that Corey P. Smith has led thousands of financial freedom, and especially hip to these banks in this credit system. So shout out to you, Jamal Titus. This show is dedicated to you, my guy. Carry on, my guy. You already know what time it is. Issa showing love in the building, man. Julie showing love in the building. You already know. Issa showing love to Money. Julie showing love to Larry and Jamal. Shout out to you, LA Law showing love to Julie. LA Law showing love, man, to Money and JT. Issa showing love. You already know. JT is in the building showing love to Julie. Issa and LA Law, man. Jeremiah Crafton is in the building, man. Shout out to, man, my guy J-Dog, man, in the building. Julie's wonderful husband. You already know what time it is. I told you, if y'all are not rocking with that team who has made hundreds of millions of dollars in this space from digital real estate, you all on the wrong side of things. We got the plug to go ahead and connect you. I told y'all we turning up around here, man. LA Law showing love to Jeremiah. Jeremiah showing love right back to LA Law. We loving the chats, man. I know y'all were going to keep it on fire in this building, man. Shout out to y'all. Didi's is in the building. If y'all not, man, on that West Coast, man, y'all better shout out to the Blackmobile who's cooking up some chicken and fish out there. You ever in Cali, you better hit them up, man, because they are killing the game and doing it big time, man. Shout out to you guys, man, in this building, man. Let's make this thing happen. My wonderful wife is in the building. Shout out to your wifey, man, for everything that you do, man, and showing so much love. Jeremiah Crafton's in the building showing love to my wonderful wife. LA Law showing love to Didi's. You already know. Issa showing love to Didi's, man. LA Law showing love to my wonderful wife. Didi showing love to LA Law and Issa. That's what I'm talking about, man. Jeremiah showing love to Errol. You already know. LA Law say, please be safe. Errol says, Money, Julie. Jeremiah showing love. So, Jeremiah, I'm doing good. Errol saying, man, the hurricane is supposed to make landfall tomorrow evening. All we can do is stay safe as much as possible. Man, listen, shout out to everybody in the chats, man. I'm trying to tell y'all this right now. I really appreciate everybody in the chats. You guys don't even know how much this is. Shout out to my guy, Kennard Haney. I see you in the building. You know you was at that top spot, Ken. I know you have been waiting on this. Conspiracy of credit, man, has been the same thing you and JT have been talking about nonstop. So we had to go ahead and dedicate this show to you guys, man. I really want to go ahead, man, and without further ado, I want to introduce my next guest, man. So a lot of people come across this stage. They come to the show. They're able to bring game. They're able to produce game, but they're able to really go ahead and back up what they say. I always love to show you guys love because y'all show Lambo love way before, man, Lambo and everything, man, got into the position where we're at right now. Now that we're in this position we're at right now, we're excited to be able to go ahead and give back this man of honor to you guys. This guy, I'm trying to tell y'all right now, he's got a list of accolades. I could keep naming book after book he has dropped. We can name podcasts he has been on. We can name doors he has walked on and people he has known firsthand to really shake hands. But the greatest thing that I can talk to you guys personally about Corey P. Smith is he has been a trailblazer to many. He's been a trailblazer to my community. He's been a trailblazer to your community. He's been a trailblazer to many other communities out there. And because of my guy, Corey P. Smith, he says, Lambo, man, I'm going to go ahead and tap in with you. I'm going to jump on this Leffers show with you, man. We're going to sit down and do this one-on-one. I can't tell you enough of any guest in this credit game that has ever pulled up a seat and literally came to the show and is ready to go on ahead and drop gems. And I'm excited tonight about this general, this legend, this myth, the man, and everything in between that you may say that the lights gleam. My guy, we welcome to the first time, Corey P. Smith. What's up, Corey?
Man, welcome. I don't know how to respond to that, man.
Man, hey, you're going to have to get these flowers out here today, brother. That's all I want to say, brother.
No doubt. No doubt. I'm happy you invited me on the show, man. Like I told you, feel free to ask me anything. I've always been the type of person that I'm wide open. If I can, answer the question, I'll answer it to the best of my ability. I like providing information. I like to see people execute. And it's kind of one of the things that drive me. Like over the years, I've seen, even with me being, kind of 1 foot in 1 foot in the internet and another foot out of the internet, I watched a lot of people get rich off credit,
Yeah.
And I was like, man, yeah, some of them blew me away. But happy for everybody that was able to use credit as a tool to elevate them financially. A lot of younger people jumped in the game and hey, they did what they were supposed to do with it. They elevated themselves, they elevated their families. So, that was the whole point of putting out the very first book, How to Outsmart the Credit Bureau. I wrote that book. I actually wrote that book from an angry standpoint.
I gotta hear about this because, man, was that how you got into the credit game? Because we all want to know, man, how did you evolve to get into the credit game and learn so much as you did? Was that written from that standpoint of anger like that?
Yeah, man. I had my wife now. We've been together 27 years, but at the time, man, we young. Like she 21, I'm 4 years older than her. We just trying to make it. And if you've watched me over the years, you know that the story, like I actually just woke up in the middle of the night and just had a revelation. And we sleeping on the floor at the time. In a 1-bedroom apartment we had. And I had actually got the apartment off of at the time, you hear about CPN numbers, but at the time, the CPN numbers were actually tax ID numbers. They used to come in the mail. We'll request tax ID numbers from certain IRS offices throughout the United States. And I had actually got the apartment that we were staying in off that number. And I just woke up in the middle of the night, man. And I told my wife, I was like, shit. I said, the only way we're going to get out of this situation is that we got to fix our name. And, your name is credit. And I told her to give me 24 months, which is 2 years. And I said, I give you the life basically that you dream about. And she did. with a little bit of resistance, and I started my journey. Like that became my job, 8 hours a day on the phone, researching, doing whatever I could, to find out, to figure out this credit thing. So that's where it all started at, and, and
You know,
to this,
I gotta say this. We give it harmless. Floyd Wilson is in the building. Shout out to you,
Floyd.
I seen that came off on a Facebook channel. Shout out to Floyd because Floyd is definitely a mentor for mine. Has been my mentor for the last 20 years in this game, and has definitely didn't even know it up until recently. Him and Corey have had this relationship for years, man. I said, Floyd, you hit that one out for Lambo, brother. That's all the time, brother. So for him to even come on here, I know he said he was going to be on here, but just proud of looking at where we're at now, man, in life and what we've been able to do to really maneuver and stuff like that. But to hear your story like that, being literally on the floor and saying, when you talk about got it from the ground, got it out the mud, most people don't understand it. Like, nah, you was like, yo, I'm sleeping next to this ground. Turn around and give me a little time, baby. I'm going to go on ahead and make that commitment to you so that we can go on ahead and dream. Now, when you said 24 months, I mean, was that a collective of things that you had studied or a collective of things that you was getting ready to say, we getting ready to run these plays because I've seen how this thing works? Or was it a little trial and error along the way, Corey?
Of course, with anything, there's going to be trial and error. But I've just always been the type of guy. I'm a very patient person. I'm strategic. I'm always going to research stuff. Like I'm gonna know the ins. I'm gonna know the outs because I like to know what I'm up against. Like I like to know how far I could take this. And that's just me. Even up until this day, I don't do nothing quick. Like 2 years that's like a minimum of, okay, I'm gonna give myself 2 years, 24 months. So that's when you talk about short term, that's my short term goal. So that's why I gave myself 24 months. It happened a little bit faster than that, but 24 months was like, okay, I'm gonna give myself 2 years. That was my jail sentence to get in where I needed to be and to put my family in a better situation. So, but yeah, of course, everything is trial and error. Like I made a lot of mistakes along the way. I lost a lot of money along the way. I met a lot of people along the way, that I was able to put certain information together that I had gained from each one of these individuals, So that's where that 24 months came from.
So, I shout out to that 24 months because a lot of people think, man, that everything happened all of a sudden for you, right, Corey? Like when they see the books, they see how you're moving, they seeing all of the people that you're helping. Everybody said, oh, man, it must have happened to them at a snap of a finger. You're telling us today, nah, it took some time. It took me to really map this thing out, draw this thing out, but then really follow this thing through.
Right.
So for people who are thinking that credit repair is a fast result or it's a quick fix, you're literally there to kind of let them know it's not a quick fix. It's actually a process with it.
Yeah, I mean, people have to stop and think about this. How can something that affects your life so much, be a quick fix when it took you so long to even take that part of your life to screw things up, to make yourself not look as attractive as on paper. Like I don't look as good. I don't look like I'm financially. I don't look like I'm financially responsible. Like so, you can never look at it that way. You can people always be like, put a date on it. Get away from you have to get away from putting dates on things and just go through the process. Like, this is aside from credit. Floyd know this. I bought some land in West Virginia because I wanted to do dairy farming, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving myself 3 to 5 years. Most people wouldn't even, like, man, that's a long time, but it's short in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
So you talk about something like credit, where you have almost no control in the beginning, because a lot of people don't even have the information to, they don't have the information to fight back. I'll say that. You have to gain that information. Like, I had to gain it. Like, so you can I just say, don't look at things like that. Like, it takes time. Everything takes time.
Yeah.
So
let's talk about that. Your first experience when you talk about taking time. What books were you reading? What did you pick up to begin to start to learn that journey to start to really apply these tactics?
With credit?
Yeah.
Man, I didn't pick up no books. Like, people be like my wife always say, like, man, people gotta be like, man, who taught you?
Yeah.
I didn't pick up no books. The books that I was reading, they didn't have nothing to do with credit. I was reading books like The Secret Science by John Baines. I was reading The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, The Go-Getter, Think and Grow Rich. I was reading all those types of books back then, but none of those helped me get to where I'm at today. Like, I learned this credit stuff by trying things, and a lot of things didn't work. Okay, I know this didn't work, so I'm gonna try something else. Like, even long before people even knew about the Fair and Accurate Credit Transaction Act, which gave the police reports their strength. I had already figured that out just from a phone conversation with a lady at Experian. I had already figured that out. So, that came from me trying something, and that came from me being on the phone probably 10 times until I ran across somebody that could, give me that information. So that made me take off even more. So,
I gotta say this. When you found the first results in a success that happened with you and your wife's credit, was that like the spark to say, man, if I can do this for us, man, I can help out anybody? And then how did that actually bridge out from that point when you seen the results that happened for you and wifey? Did you say, oh man, I'm ready to start taking people, man, and really helping change their lives at that point? Was it a quick thing, or was it an overtime thing that you decided to say, I'm gonna give some gain back and really help change people's lives with this credit thing?
It was quick in terms of hold on one second. I'm sorry. Hold on one second, because I see my phone. Hold on.
Yeah. Shout out to Corey, just really being able, man, to really get out here, man, and shed some light, man, with us all. This is exciting. Now, what we're gonna do later on, similar to what we did for shout out and everything, man, to when Mike Shapiro was on here. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for some of y'all who probably always wanted to ask Corey a question. You guys will be able to come behind backstage and ask a credit question. You'll be able to pull up on the camera. I'll be able to pull you up on here. You can ask a question, ask any credit question. You might as well have one of the best who is out here, who has definitely helped out countless of people. So you guys stay tuned to the very end of this show, where I will go on ahead and drop that link in the chat and make sure that you guys can come on and personally ask Corey a question. We're only going to do a few of y'all, so ain't everybody going to be out there asking questions, but we're going to do that, man, a little bit later on. All right.
I'm sorry, man.
Corey, now, brother, I know. I seen the juice. The juice must be got to plug it up, brother. I already know.
Yeah. Man, let me see.
Yeah, excited about this, you guys, because you know, man, Corey, man, it's like we always, and I was talking with Floyd about this the other day, you know, especially when we was in Minnesota, and we always look at some of the greats, the GOATs, and the people who paved the way for so many people. And you know, when you see what Corey has done, you sit back and you kind of look at it like me in the standpoint, right? Of saying, man, I'm going to take this book, and I got fed up with the way things were going, right? As many of you guys did as well. And we decided to begin to start fighting back. Now, I gotta go ahead and recommend, you know, so many great things. Corey said, man, there wasn't no specific book that I started to read. If there's any book right now, and I'm laughing because an author, and this is a true story, man, they say the author can come out of a story that they're personally traveling through. That was a bar. That's a real author can really come out of a story that they're actually walking through. And so Corey was one of those who actually became an author because he was actually walking it through. And man, shout out for him, man, being able to walk it through to help change so many of our lives because of him walking it through and then turning around and giving us back that game so that we can fight. So I'm really excited about that, man. You know, and to have this one-on-one with him is everything out here, man. So again, we're going to do questions and answers, so y'all just sit tight because it's going to be on and popping in just a minute.
Sorry about that.
Go on, hey, brother, I told you I got your back, brother.
Yeah, my wife had my charge, and I went down and I grabbed the wrong one. But going back to what you asked me, was I excited? I was very excited, and I did. I helped the people that were in my immediate circle. I helped everybody. Like I wasn't even charged, and I was just, you know, if you were my friend or somebody I dealt with, you know, I was helping you get your credit straight. I really got excited when I saw the money that I was able to amass once I figured out the credit part of it, and then that kind of shifted over to me learning about shell corps and what the banks were doing back then in like 05, 06. You know, you could go to the bank and get $50,000. So that's how everything came into fruition, from the credit investors to the shell corps. That's how I put all of this together, and I was able to make a lot of money, although I lost it all. But yeah, I was very excited, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So now, you know, for those and everything, man, who are out there, when you started learning credit and you saying, man, I started fixing all of the people who was close to me, like, yo, I'm about to get your credit right. Was it a game plan for Jim just to have good credit, or was it a game plan to say, nah, not only am I going to fix your credit, but I'm going to help educate you because I want you to be able to run this play. And if you're able to go get a bag, you can be able to do this X, Y, and Z. Was it that type of mindset that not only am I going to fix your credit, but I'm going to educate you, show you how to get the money, and then show you how to make the money work for you?
Nah. I'm not gonna even lie to you. I wasn't even on that type of timing back then, because I had really got into hustling. You know, like I told you, once I saw the credit it brought me a lot of money. I started to move around a lot. You know, California, like I spent a lot of time in LA, Miami, Texas. I spent a whole lot of time in LA though. So I wasn't even on the type of time with, like, I'm gonna educate people. That didn't come into play until I had made all this money. And of course, you know the story about the little run-in when I had with the feds.
Yeah.
And I had lost my money. And after that, that's when I started to really want to educate people on credit, because I didn't really come out. I didn't come out from behind the scenes really trying to talk about credit until like 2013.
Yep.
And you gotta think, during that time, man, I had to go and get a job because I had lost everything.
Yeah.
A second time. I lost it one time, got it back, lost it again. Like Conspiracy of Credit, bro. I wrote that book while I was a corrections officer. I worked overnight. From 10 to 6. I wrote that book during that time. And I put a lot into it. And I had no idea. I'm gonna tell you, the book took off when I did a podcast with this guy named Brother Rich, the Underground Railroad.
Okay.
The book took off, like, cause I was selling the books. I only had 2 books then. I had How to Outsmart, and I wrote The Conspiracy of Credit. And I was, the checks were, it was small back then. But when I did this show, like, the sales took off. And then I was like, oh man, I gotta start doing more. And I started doing people's podcasts, and then it went from there. I was just telling my wife, I was like, man, you realize it's been over 10 years. Like I said, you realize my book has been making some type of check for over 10 years. I said, that's crazy, because I didn't, I created my own publishing company, like, but to answer your question, nah, I wasn't I wasn't trying to educate nobody back then. I was helping people. Like, I had friends that it had shifted. Like, I had friends that, had foreclosures on their credit or repos. So I knew how to get it off. So I was helping them out like that and letting them go on and do their thing. But I wasn't educating them. That came later when, you go through things in life and you start to realize why certain things happen and why you lose certain things. And that's what happened to me. Like, I've always loved my family, but I think when you start to let life get in the way, and you think like, they good because they living good, or I make sure my wife got money.
Yeah.
That's not always it. And, I had to figure that part of it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Corey, man, you talk about these places, right? When you say, man, Lambo, I had it. I was doing my thing. Got it. Lost it. Got it again. Lost it again. At your lowest, Conspiracy of Credit is written. You're doing corrections at that point. Was there any time in your mind, especially when you looked over at your wife and said, yo, we getting ready to go do this thing, you're going to do this thing big? Not even knowing the podcast and everything else that's getting ready to come from behind this and all of that. But did that ever have the inkling that it was going to have the impact that Conspiracy of Credit had of you being in a place? Because there's so many people in there, and I'm going to say this to you right now. There's so many people in a place where they have actually, whether COVID or different jobs or economic things happen, they had to shift from being an entrepreneur to going back to work. And they're probably upset with themselves right now and trying to figure out, like, man, my life is bigger than this. I should be doing more than this. It wasn't at that point that you were saying, like, hey, I'm like most of y'all. I just decided to start fighting back and put this in the book and gonna see where this gonna take us at.
Yeah, because I am. I'm like everybody. Everybody's on this call, man. We all alike. Yeah. It's just a matter of who's going to tap in to whatever God gave them, use that, and execute. Point blank. When I was working in the jail, I started to realize one thing, that the jail is a resemblance of the outside world. And what made me think about this, because I'm standing there one day and there's this captain, and he just stopped this inmate, and he told the inmate, he said, hold your hands out, your palms up. Inmate did it. He said, turn around this way. The inmate did it. He said, hold your, like, it was either his right or left foot, whatever it was. He had him do that. Like, hold one of your foot up so I can see the bottom of your shoe. And I thought to myself, I said, man, he just stopped this dude because this guy was coming from Chow.
Yeah.
And not one time did he ask him, hey, why are you asking me to do this? Why?
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, most people in the world, that's how they live their life. They'll accept certain things without even questioning, without even saying why. Why? And that's the number one thing that you have to keep in mind, like when you're going through this life, whether you work in a job or like you said, people want to kick themselves, that question of why? Why did I end up here? You know, or why, even if it's something that you want, why do I want this? You know, and that's when I started to realize, like, the inside world is just like the outside world. And once you come to the realization that, or recognizing that, like, this is it, then you'll be able to start, you'll start being able to dissect certain things. You'll look at things differently. Like, when I say look at things differently, I started to realize, like you see these guys, I tell Floyd that we have these phone conversations, me, him, and another friend of ours, and I always tell him, like, man, I see these guys, they be on the internet, they have big chains, mm-hmm. they be in a real nice cars, like, you know, and I just look, I don't want to say it's clownish to me, but I just be like, man, they don't even know. They don't even know that none of that stuff matters. You know, like I always say, people, they listen with their eyes.
Yep. And now, you know, yep.
Right. And that draws them in. And you know, once you get to that point in your life where you realize, like, what's important, and you're able to answer that question of why, then your life starts to shift in a better place. Like, man, I had a stroke, right?
Yeah.
But like, I'm sitting here on this call with you tonight. Like, I'm happy. I'm blessed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm blessed from the standpoint I have a family, you know, and that alone, like, that makes me, I'm blessed just to have that drives me. You know how they talk about what's your why? Like, yeah. That's really my why, because I want them to be able to live their life, you know, so whatever they dream they might want to do, or whatever, you know, I want them to be comfortable, happy, and don't have to, you know, kiss nobody's butt to be able to do something that they want to do in life. Yeah. That's like, okay, that's my why, you know. But
you get that Lambo Bell for that, man. Come on now. You know, we sit back up in here, we have so many discussions with so many people who come to the show, and people will come to the show and they start talking about, you know, Lambo, I had, you know, roller coasters, which we all have a roller coaster. Life is full of ups and downs. Life is never just a plateau and you just stay there, stay stagnant. We talk about the journey of you literally heading up that roller coaster. We talked about the journey of losing things and you heading down that roller coaster. We talked about the journey of you being able to help people in the middle of your roller coaster ride. What has been like one of your greatest experience throughout your ride that you have seen that you could tell someone else out there that will help inspire them in this life, especially while they're actually moving forward with their journey?
Man, that's a good question. That's a hard question because I've been through a whole lot. Like about 50 years, like being here on this earth. Uh, but if I had to say something to anybody, like as far as saying, okay, uh, I guess I would just have to say, man, it's simple for me. Just getting to a place where I learn to respect money and being able to take care of my family. It's just that simple. Uh, that's 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 all that matters to me. You know,
Yeah.
like I've never said this. I've never said this publicly, right? But there are two people that had a real impact on my life. One of the guys saved my life, and the other guy gave me a peek of the type of life that I could have. The first guy's name, his name is Tim Smith. I met Tim when I was in high school.
Okay.
And I say I've never said this because when I was in high school, man, I was robbing people. I was a robber in high school playing basketball. And I met a guy named Tim Smith because I was staying with my dad and he kind of knew what was going on because, he found some money. He started to put two and two together. And then he would hear things. So he ended up kicking me out. My dad was a good man, but he ended up kicking me out, just showing me like tough love. And this guy named Tim Smith took me in. And Tim was in college. He went to University of South Florida. He was over a program called Project Reach Out. He had a girlfriend. He was a cute dog. And he could play basketball. And I started to see all these things. And I was like, man, I want to be like him. Like, I want these things, right? And I kind of started to shift during that time, but still, still had a little bit of bad in me. And I ended up getting a scholarship going and getting kicked out the first semester and then coming back to Ocala. And man, I went to jail. I took the police on a high speed chase, the whole nine. And I had 4 felonies. And for whatever reason, when I went back, I went for arraignment and then I ended up coming back to court months later. But for whatever reason, when I went back to court, they had dropped all of my charges down to 2. I had 2 misdemeanor charges, and I had to do like a year or so in jail. I did that, got out. My high school coach got me a basketball trial to a community college in Tennessee, Cleveland State, and I went there, and and that's when I'll say my life began. And the second guy, his name is Terrence Harris. I linked up with him when I was a little bit older, and he was the first guy to take me to Las Vegas. And I was seeing him getting all this money and making these deals, and that was actually the first time that I had heard the word shelf corps. And I always tell people this. I'm sitting in on these meetings with him, and I'm taking notes with my phone. Like I'm sending text messages back to my wife, but they notes in my head, the research. But I saw the type of life that Terrence was having, and I was like, man, I could have that life. So I stuck real close to him. And the crazy thing about it, my mother-in-law would always tell my wife, like, man, my wife is like, she said she'll tell mom, like, man, is my husband like a dude boy? And she said her mom would tell her, nah, I think he just learning. And she was right.
Yeah.
So after, a couple of years of hanging with him, I had soaked up a lot of game. So you talk about that game and then coming back, putting the credit piece with it, game over. Like I had I made $2 million quick, and I lost it quick. But
Yeah.
I'll credit those two guys to really having an impact on my life. But fast forward, and you ask me what, what's that thing that you could tell somebody else?
Yeah.
It's just figuring out that, man, family is the most important thing. All the other shiny stuff, the whistle, the toys, and all, none of that matters when you get to a certain point in your life. It's about being able to lay around the house and play with your grandkid, or, your kids asking you for things. I got daughters, so I'm happy. Like, I'm happy about the fact that they think I'm Superman. My wife, my daughter just called me today. She was like, "Hey, Dad," she called me about a car. She's like, "Hey, Dad, they got such and such with red seats. Can we go look at it today?"
Right.
And I just hung up with her, but I told the person I was with, I was like, "Man, I'm glad they think I'm Superman."
Yeah.
But that's it. That's it.
That's one of the most profound things you could have said, because I just told that to a dear friend of mine who was on a Zoom earlier today. Lost his father a few weeks back. I was in Ohio to go to his funeral. But we talked, and that was what I said. I said, dude, at this stage in your life, Brother Lambo only wants to see you be able to enjoy your grandkids, enjoy your family, and sit back, man, and go as you please. You understand? While we're doing everything else that we're doing. And we're putting business things together and all of this other stuff. And I said to him, I said, man, look, I'm proud of you. In our culture, in our community, we don't see a lot of that, neither hear a lot of that, right? Regardless of what economic ladder that you may be on. And I said, I'm proud of you. And he says, but Lambo, but I went back. I did the opposite of what you said. And I went back to going ahead and had to touch things with my hands to do physical work. And I said to him, I said, brother, that makes me more proud of you, because you're doing something that the next person wouldn't do. You turned around, you took that pride, that humility, put it to the backside and said, you know what? I want to provide for my family. Corey, just recently, after the success of everything else that you have done, the podcast, the wonderful books, the inspiration of helping so many countless of people around the world, you decided to embark into a new journey and saying, I want to learn it from the inside out and really get my hands dirty, man. Let's talk about that a little bit, man, and how's that journey been for the last year and what you have learned from your journey, man.
You're talking about trucking and dump trucking.
Man. Games. Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's been fun. Like, it's been exciting for me, like, because it's something new. I knew going in, it's not nothing that, like I told you on the phone the other day, like, man, you see a lot of people, they like, man, I'm getting rich in trucking, and that's not true. But it was exciting for me because I know what I'm gonna do with it already.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to learn every element of transportation. I went to school to learn about freight brokering. I went to truck driving school and got my CDLs. I got every endorsement that you can think of. I got my TWIC card, my Fast Pass, I already had my passport. I went and I learned about pilot cars. I just recently the dump trucks, heavy hauling. I learned about everything so that I can at some point put it all together. I've already created the companies that I'm going to put into use. Like, I see what people, they always talk about, man, get these cars, put them on tour road. Man, forget that. Go start you a pilot car business.
Yep.
Put you a couple of guys. It's easy to go get. You can go buy 3 cars at CarMax. Cheap cars. When you're in the pilot car business, you just need a small car or a small truck. Believe it or not, you can make a nice piece of change doing pilot cars. Not a lot of backhaul, They got their own load board, just like truckers. You don't have to have a CDL, but imagine you can put somebody in there that's just coming out of jail or something like that needs to make some money. Like, okay, send them through, make sure they got everything they need to be able to get behind the wheel. You provide the vehicle for them, all the supplies, and all, pay them good, and they give you a cut. So that's how I've always, you don't always get rich off one thing. So I just learned in my mind, I'm creating machines. Yeah. Like I told you the other day, I make none of my, like, with all my books collectively, I haven't made anything under $10,000 in years. Because I get like 4 checks every month. I get 4 checks every month. So I know if, when I go to sleep tonight, I know when the 29th comes. I know when the 25th comes. I know when the 30th comes. I know my checks dropping. They drop, and I'm not worried about them being under 10,000. That's one stream of income.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The other stream of income, me and my wife invested in boutique hotels.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot of money, but every quarter we getting a check. You know? Same thing, little restaurant, we making some money.
Yeah.
Okay, I looked at trucking. I learned about it. Okay, I figure out how I can get some contracts. Okay, people say the trucking industry is bad right now, and it is. But the dump truck's not bad, right?
That's government contracts.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The pallet cars, they not bad, right?
Yeah.
The freight broker not bad. It just takes a long time to get clients. So you have to go in to where you just work as an independent agent before you try to get your own authority and get bonded. So all those things, it's a process. When you ask me, where did the 2 years come from?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Okay, I give myself a year and a half to learn all this. So we probably be right at 3 years. I should have a fully functioning, like, transportation company. So all of these things together, man, you look up and you're like, damn, man, I'm making $20,000 a month. Oh man, I'm making $40,000 a month.
Yeah.
You feel me? So, and then when you got a wife like mine, cause she know, and before I was so spontaneous, I would spend money. That's how I ran through it. So she, but I'm on board with her about, like, saving money and thinking about life during the old age, because I'm never gonna retire anyway. I'm gonna always be, as long as God give me, breath in my body and I'm able to move around. I'm a hustle. Like, that's what I do. But the journey as far as trucking and learning, man, it's been fun. It's been fun. Like, I've been all over the country. It's probably 4 states that I haven't touched in the 18-wheeler. I learned, learning the dump truck's been fun. Learning, I had the opportunity to work, like, on the, disaster sites, train derailment. So I'm learning all of this. So, to answer your question, it's been fun. Eventually, I have a company that is working like a machine. Yeah. So I figure I create all these machines and, put the necessary people in place. Life is good, and move on to the next thing. Like, even with the dairy farm, like, I got a good team of people. They know it better than me. I'm learning there, but years from now, I should be. That should be what I envision. And it's something, like, for my girls to, something I could leave them. Yeah.
Corey, I hear so many things. You get that bell for that, my God. I hear so many things because I'm hearing the entrepreneur, but I'm hearing the entrepreneur that loves to take hold. Like, hey, I'm in here to get my hands dirty still. I got to make sure that this moves the way it should move. You know, I think that when people get to a place a lot of times in life, they automatically feel that, and they get frustrated that, oh, this should be moving by themselves and this should be actually working by itself. And you're just like, nah, Lambo, that's not how it all the way goes. And you're actually demonstrating that firsthand. But the fact that you want to learn it, Corey, and being at this game and at this place and the things that you have done and seeing and hearing all the success and people and everything saying, man, you know, Corey, he must have been in and lost his mind. And you say, nah, I've always known what I wanted to do. What do you say to them for the people out there who think you lost your mind and he must be tripping after he did all and had all this success behind him?
Man, hey, I had people send me emails. I had people make comments like, man, he must be broke. He must be this. Man, yeah, okay. Like, I ain't no boastful person, but I'm doing all right. But, you know, hey, in order to be a good boss, my dad always told me, in order for you to be a good boss, you got to be a good employee.
Yes, you do.
In order for you to lead, you have to learn. So I'm not gonna put nobody in my truck. I'm not gonna put nobody in my dump truck. I'm not gonna put nobody in my pilot car, and I haven't done it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now you can't tell me anything. I done been through it. I done rolled in the mountains, been stuck in the snow, had to put the tire chains on. I done had the kingpin get stuck behind the fifth wheel. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've been through all of that. You know? Yeah. I done had a blowout and been stuck on the highway for 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to do that.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So if I'm able to do that, then I'm gonna make when I'm the boss, I'm gonna make a good boss, because one, I understand what's going on out there. Like, ain't just I'm trying to tell somebody about trucking or anything in transportation, and I haven't done it.
Yeah.
You know, and as a man or a woman, like especially a man, you have to learn. You have to learn to be able to submit yourself to I'll say another human being, to be able to get the information that you need to advance. Like, a lot of guys might feel like, man, I'm not submitting myself to no another man, you know, or, you know, their ego getting away. That's not me, man. I don't have to go work for nobody. But guess what?
Yeah.
If I get some information I want, I'll go get on your clock. I'll get on your clock for 6 months because I want to know it.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the beauty of being in the position that I'm in. There's no pressure on me. There's no pressure. Like, whatever happens, I'm good because I'm already making money in other places. So when you ask about trucking, man, it was fun to me.
Yeah.
It's fun. Like, man, I'm driving. I'm not, you know, so for people to say that, I could say, man, I could say you stupid.
Yeah.
But that would be rude. I just, you know, they just don't know. They don't know.
Yeah.
You know? And I can't, can you blame them? You know, the way I see things might be different from the way other people see things. We're not gonna see things the same. You know? But I can see things the way they see it, and I can see things the way from the standpoint of where I'm at now. You know, it's just like I had this conversation today with my wife. I said, imagine, and this is no knock to nobody. I said, imagine having to go home and you live in North Memphis. And anybody from Memphis know North Memphis is bad.
Oh, yeah.
It's a really depressed neighborhood, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine if I got to go home to that every day after going to work. One, I'm already mad about the neighborhood that I'm going to live in.
Yeah.
But, man, imagine I come home every day and I live in $1 million crib. I live in $1 million neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I see, I'm excited. I'm motivated.
Yeah.
You know, I want to learn more. And that's how people that's how you have to look at things. You got to be for real. When you hear people say you got to be deliberate about doing this, you do. You have to be very deliberate about, man, what neighborhood do I want to live in? You know, and go after it. Like, man, what if I go after it?
Yeah.
If you got to go 14, 16 hours without sleeping, like, bro, I wrote 3 books. I wrote 3 books this year. The 3rd book come out November the 1st.
Yeah.
During the same time, I'm learning trucking. During the same time, I put $30,000 towards a bar with my frat brother in the Philippines.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. I'm doing all this. So sometimes my head is to the ground and I'm just going, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what I say to people like that, like, man, King don't get no energy today. King don't give no energy today.
Bars.
You know?
Bars.
Yeah.
Bars, man. You know, I love it because I think, and when we have these interviews, people say, Lambo, man, I thought you was going to bring me on here. We're going to talk about all of this X, Y, D. I said, no, people want to know the real deal of you. And I love to bring that out. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about this, but I love to bring that out, especially when it comes to, man, you being able to show people, hey, I'm not just going on ahead and talking about it. I'm actually walking this out. And I am living proof that this thing can be done. You can be a boss. You can have multiple streams of income. Those machines that you talk about, Corey, that we always talk about it on the show, we call that vehicles, right? Vehicles go further than you will ever go because they're made to go the distance. A car is made to go the distance. You walking on your feet from here to New York, from Memphis or Tennessee to New York or Miami to New York, brother, that's a long walk. Now you in a vehicle heading from Tennessee or Miami to New York. You do that a whole lot better at that point. And it's a lot more stress-free up on you. That's what the vehicles are for, and that's what you've been doing. Corey, you've been giving us so many vehicles for so many years and motivating us to do more in life and want more in life. And that's what we are all excited for, in gratitude to you for you showing us the way as a leader. And we truly appreciate you for that, man, Corey. Thank you, brother.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. So I got my guy Ken. Listen, y'all, this is about that time, man, where we're getting ready to go in ahead. I just dropped the link. The link is right here. We're gonna get to some of the comments as well, man, in the chat and stuff like that, man. I dropped the link in the chat. If you guys want to come on and ask my guy Corey a question, you guys can. Excited about this. Already know, man, one of your biggest supporters. We're already going to be coming in. He's backstage now. Again, this is the link in the chats. This is it right here on the screen. You want to come on, just click the chat, sign right on in. You'll come backstage, and I will bring you in. We want to go ahead and ask this first guest, man, some wonderful questions, man. He's talked so much about you. He's a great friend to our show, great brother to me. No other brother but my guy, Kennard Haney, man, from Baltimore. Shout out to you, Ken Haney. What's up, brother?
Hey, Lambo, what's going on, man? How are you?
Your world, brother. Your world, kid, man. Love seeing you, brother. Listen, I'm getting ready to get out your way, man, and let you and your guy, because he studied so much about your Corey, man, and talked about your book so much till it's phenomenal at this point. But I'm going to let you guys have y'all one-on-one time, man, and enjoy this moment. All right, fellas.
Oh, man, thank you, Lambo. As always, you humble me and bless me beyond measure. Corey, nice to meet you. Welcome to the show. And actually, Corey, I got to tell you, because Jamal Titus is on the show too, and it was actually him who I met 3 years ago in a barber shop that we both used to go to. Had never seen him before until that particular Saturday. He comes in, 2 of his sons. He's talking about this book, The Conspiracy of Credit. Our barber's name was Jamal. So the barber, Jamal, says, Ken, this is my other friend, Jamal. He's Jemal. And meet Jamal. So we exchange information. I put your book in my Amazon wish list. I ordered the book, started to read it, connected with Jamal, and I told Jamal at the time I was interested in learning crypto, and of course he was learning credit and talking to Lambo about credit. So we naturally segue into your book, which was a mind blower. So, you know, the credit is God, yours, Jamal, Lambo, or we wouldn't be talking right now. So if I could be, don't want to take way more time than necessary, but I actually 3 questions really fast, Corey, if I could, because I saw on Amazon you've written more than one book. Would you suggest an
Right.
order to read those books, Corey?
Nah. One thing you got to realize about me. Remember, I told you like I be kind of strategic with how I do things.
Mm-hmm.
Each book has everything's a puzzle, and not that I mean for things to be that way. It's just how it comes to me. But each one of my books has something in it that you can use. That if you read The Conspiracy of Credit, you're probably gonna read the Credit Dictionary, and something might click with you. You're probably gonna go from there and read The Game of Credit, and something else might click with you. But each one of my books has something that you can definitely use, like this, like the Credit Investor. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about the whole credit investor thing, the contracts and all that, but I'm gonna have a lot more things in that book that you'll be able to use, like, you know, taking off charge offs and some late pays, like some of the things I've never talked about online because like I never discount or I never take for granted that because of what I went through in the past that certain people they hadn't stopped watching me. Even with me doing the right thing in my life, I've always done the right thing, but like, so I just try to do things in a way that, nobody can bother me. But each book, there's no particular order. You'll be able to get something from each book. Like the last book that I'm probably going to do uh, after The Credit Investor is showing people how to do the shelf course. So you got 8 books and it has everything that you can almost possibly think of when it comes to credit. And then from that point, I'll shift to some other stuff like Education is Overrated. That's a book that I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write a book. I already wrote a book. In the process of this, I've been starting to take my notes on the whole little pilot car thing because I think that's an untapped market, especially for African Americans that you could turn it into a real business. You ever notice riding, you see these escorts following these oversized and heavy loads. They're not African American. Like the majority of them, and I'm not saying that from a racist standpoint. I'm just saying that's something that Black people might need to take a closer look at instead of doing things like, let me go buy some cars and put it on Turo because them cars lose value. So it's just like people don't have the means to get new cars every year like the big rental car company. So you do something where it don't matter if your car depreciates, you're still making money. Oh, let me look into this pilot car business. Even if you look at it, it'll tell you the incomes you can make in that business between $60,000 and $90,000 a year. Wow. So people just have to do their research. But yeah, I would recommend. I'm not just saying it because it's my books. I recommend if you can get all the books, get them all. I feel like I put them at a price point where they're affordable. And you'll get what you need out of them.
Okay. Appreciate that. Thank you. And number 2, how do I get involved in investing in boutique hotels? Because I happen to be in the hotel industry. I do national sales for Red Roof, and it's amazing how in hospitality, a lot of people talk about getting into hotels, but they don't know how.
Write down my email.
I'm ready.
It's Corey Smith 1793 at gmail.com. And I'll send you a couple of I'll send you some, we can talk about it. Sometimes the minimum buy-in is like 50. The return isn't as big, but
Okay.
you can break in with like you got 50 grand, That's the smallest that, I've seen. And then you go on up from there.
Okay.
But email me, just let me know who you are, and then at some point, we can have a conversation with how you can get into that.
Okay. We'll love
like,
that.
yeah.
And this is a plug for a friend of mine who Lambo knows, and Julie and Jeremiah. But if you're ever ready or need to buy some trucks, I got the guy for you here in Columbus, Ohio. He can ship them.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely email me, man.
Okay.
Yeah, can he these semis or dumps?
Both.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So definitely email me tonight.
Okay. Okay. Appreciate it. Corey, thanks again for being here. Look forward to seeing you again. And
you ain't done. You got 2 more questions for you, Ken.
I got 2 more questions.
You got 2 more questions, man. Anything in conspiracy or credit, man, that you think of, man, that's been with the banks, you got 2 more questions in you, man. Ken been waiting for this moment. I'm gonna let him get his moment, Corey. He been waiting for this moment, man.
Man, that's JT. I learned by repetition. I gotta reread the book, Corey. I think I might have even passed it on to someone who didn't give it back to me, so I gotta order that again. And I just ordered. Hold on, I don't want to lose you because the last time Lambo did this to me, I couldn't even see my face back here in StreamYard. Because I'm a technological genius. I ordered one of your books tonight, but that's why I wanted to ask that question, because I saw all the other ones you wrote, and I'm like, well, if this is anything like Dr. Miles Monroe in the Kingdom of Heaven, he tells you, well, get these 3 books in this order. So I'm like, let me ask Corey, which books do I read in order? So I have to go back and start all over again and get Conspiracy to Craft. So I don't have another question. I mean, just going back off my memory from a couple years ago when I first read it, it just blew my mind. Oh, I thought, where you don't live in Columbus, Ohio, do you, Corey?
Nah, I live in Memphis.
Okay, I don't know where that came from, too, man. I don't know. I guess I was vicariously making you closer to me than what you were. Okay, that's not really a question, Lambo. Lambo, I'm a give a gift, man. Someone else gets 2 more questions from Corey. Thank you, brother, but
Set out to that. Well, I'm gonna up the ante, man. Too.
Okay.
Up the ante tonight, man.
You gonna give away all the books?
I'm giving away some books, man. I'm buying a book. So Corey, I'm giving away some books tonight. So y'all, we're gonna up this ante right here around here.
Thank you, Lambo.
Y'all, we gonna Corey. What's the last 3 you done wrote? You done wrote 2. We got 1 coming out November.
Yeah, it's the one that's coming out in November. It's on pre-order now. I be putting it on pre-order because I do watch my books. It's one guy that I find it hard to overtake him because you got the top 100 books in credit rating, and you know this guy is Dave Ramsey.
Yeah,
he always, I can get to the very top, but he, so I done tried this new method. Let me put the book on pre-order so it can come out, a top seller or whatever. So, but the Credit Investor, the Game of Credit, and Credit for Poor People, those are the last 3 books that I've written.
Okay. We get ready to order some live books. Like y'all get ready to win some books. This is how our people doing the Leverage Show. And we ain't about to go ahead, man, and talk about it. My man that wrote some books, Corey, we get ready to go support the movie.
I got a question, Lambo, then real quick, Corey.
Talk to me. Go ahead, kid.
For writing a book. So how did you learn how to write a book, or are you going to write a book on writing a book? I mean, just can you speak about that?
Nah, like you remember at the beginning of this show, I said, man, all of us the same.
Yeah.
I didn't learn how to write the book. I just decided when I did how to outsmart the credit bureaus, I took my notes, stuff that I learned, I got on the computer and started typing it in Word. The book I did, I actually was taking a book to Kinko's and having them printed out, which I was learning at the time. Then, I figured out, okay, you got to get somebody to typeset it. You got to get somebody to do you a book cover. You have to, back then, you have to say, man, I got to see if I can get with Baker and Taylor because I was a self-published author, but in no way they're going to give you distribution with one book. But there's this guy named Robin Bright. He worked for Baker and Taylor, man. For whatever reason, he gave me distribution with one book. And they kind of, started me out with, he kind of told me some things I need to do different. But even to this day, if it's the books that I write, I do it on Word. I even stopped paying for an editor. So that's why if you read my book, it have a typo or two. That's because I just put it in spell check and boom, I sent it out to a typesetter, to set it. They do the typesetting for a Kindle, to fit the dimensions of the book, whatever the book size I want. Once that's done, I publish it. Then I go back to Audible and I put the book up for auditions and I listen to the different people that read it. And I choose somebody to produce it for me. Once they produce it, I pay them and then it's available on Audible. So one thing I do know, if you got 10 books in one genre and they selling this, which I've already done it, like, it's a good chance, like if you promote it and market it right, you're supposed to be making $100,000 if you got 10 books in one area. And most of my books, they're in credit. So, but now I know I just looked at it like, I went to college and got a degree in sociology. So I don't know how to write. I'm not a writer like that.
Okay.
And just, man, God bless me, man. God bless me, bro. No. It's like no way like somebody could write these books and self-publish and sell. I've sold thousands of books. I think I wrote How to Outsmart the Credit Bureaus in 2004. Audible picked my book up. They've been promoting my book like now. They've been promoting my book on all their platforms for like the last 5 or 6 months. The checks have been crazy. There's this one book. The checks have been ridiculous. For whatever reason they did it, I don't know. That's 20 years. I wish it'd be nice if they do all of them like that. But I don't know why.
Well,
so that's why I say it's God.
Yep. Amen. Well, congratulations, Corey, on the success, and look forward to seeing you again. I see JT.
JT
is in the building,
man. Hey, without these two, Ken and JT, Jamal Titus, man, Corey, I don't know, man, who been the biggest, man, promoters for you out here in Conspiracy of Credit. This is Jamal Titus, the gentleman who went on ahead and introduced this wonderful book to Ken Haiti, man. He couldn't wait to get on here. He said, Corey, I can't wait to go ahead and jump on here, man. And I see the other people backstage, too. So I'm going to let JT go ahead and get his moments on, man, with you, Corey. So let me go ahead and step aside.
Can you hear me okay?
How you doing?
Oh, yeah, wonderful.
Man,
how are you, Mr. Smith?
Man, I'm okay.
I would
how you
just
doing?
like this. Oh, I'm doing well. I'm at an undisclosed location right now, actually working. I told Lambo this is going to be hard, but I had to do this. Number one, when I read your book in October of 2020, it was one of the most impactful books in my life. Literally. I had gone through some training, learning about different monetary aspects of the monetary system, and stuff like that. But reading your book really was like the final piece to let me know that, credit was a system. And as a system, it's got rules. And as long as you know the rules and you know what the metrics are, if you hit them, then it's just automatic. And then a few months later, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And literally, that's when I met Lambo Drew. I was introduced by Stacks, a mutual friend of ours. And Stacks has been my friend for almost 30 years now. The question that I have for you is, no pressure. Is there any more that you could tell us about your encounter with the feds?
When you say any more, like, what do you mean? Like, they did a lot. Like, it's, they did a lot. Like, they did a lot to affect me in terms of they involved my wife. But the other stuff, I could kind of deal with. Like, they were around a lot. Whether it was a postal inspector, whether it was the Secret Service, whether it was the actual FBI, whether it's the detectives from the Economics Crime Bureau, the Memphis Police Department. During that time, I think it was a lot of things going on that they didn't know a whole lot about. Let's say like the corps and putting credit investors behind it, and the requirements that the bank had, like stated income loans, like as far as like getting these lines of credit, like you didn't have to submit tax returns if it was under $50,000. So that was something that they probably had to learn, and seeing it maybe for the first time, they may have thought, oh, he has to be doing something crooked. And that's why the whole, credit investors, like in this new book, I put the actual contracts that I used, the limited power of attorney, the joint venture agreement, the credit investor agreement, making sure you got copies of all the ID. And that saved me. Like, it was one instance where detective called me. This was somebody from the Memphis Police Department. They called me because I had got like $200,000 from it was Wells Fargo and at the time SunTrust Bank and First Tennessee. All these banks, but it came up to be like $200,000. And the young lady that I knew her, because I dated her auntie, like, before I met my wife. So I kind of knew her, and we, time passed. She didn't tell her husband, that she was doing this, her and her sister. So one day he comes home, the bank calls, and he like, my wife don't have no $50,000 loan, blah, blah, blah. And instead of him telling her, she told him, oh, I didn't do this, like, basically I stole all her information. They called me. They like, want you to come in and talk, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah. I said, I think y'all need to talk to her again. And they said, well, we let you know we putting a warrant out for your arrest. And I said, you know what? I tell you what. I said, what's your fax number? And she gave me their fax number. So I faxed her all of the contracts. I faxed her all the ID, everything. And I never heard from them again. That was something that that's when I realized, like, how important, when using credit investors, how important the contracts are. There was another time with the feds, and they came and they arrested me. And because my wife got really, really, like, because they was arresting her, they was doing this in front of my kids. They was taking boxes of paperwork out the house. They towed all my cars. I had like 7 cars. And I remember this moment. The way I'll never forget this. they were about to put my wife in handcuffs, and I'm sitting in the back of a car, and I look at her, and with my mouth, I'm just saying, I'm sorry. I'm telling her I'm sorry. And man, this one I knew, like, man, I'm with this woman until the casket drops. She looks at me and she says, she does this to her heart. She does this to her heart. And then she did that. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically telling me, man, my heart's strong, and you know, they end up arresting her. But I knew then, you know, they let her out eventually, like after a day or two. But they didn't let me out. They didn't let me out for about a week until these other guys had to come and interview me and go through a lot of. They called out, like, the time I was doing mortgages with different people. I was buying cars, but everybody that they called said, yeah, we working with him, blah, 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 blah. They had to let me go. When I went to court, the judge was nice, like, you know, the whole nine. I got all my cars back, got my money back, everything. So, you know, it's been a few times. One time, postal inspector, they drove me and my wife down, made us do 10-page handwriting samples, all this stuff. It's been a lot, man. Like, I haven't experienced those things in the last 10 so years, but, you know, the run-ins with them was real.
Yeah. Well, I just thank you so much for writing your story and sharing your information. You've inspired me initially, and even after this show tonight, I've been re-inspired again. So I'm definitely going to be picking up your new book and moving forward to get back into really helping a whole lot more people out here also. So thank you so much for sharing and being on the show, Mr. Smith.
Man, no doubt. I know your name. Do you follow me on Facebook or YouTube? The name Titus.
Yeah,
I've seen it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I know your name. I've seen that name before. Like, I don't do a whole lot of social media. Like, I don't have like 300,000 followers and all that. But wherever they is, they bought my book, so I'm happy about that. Like, that's a machine that, you know. I told Lambo, like, courses have so much shelf life. They only last so long. But man, my books have actually just stood the test of time. Like, they've been around for years, you know. So he asked me this. You remember the other day you asked me, you said, do I think credit, what did you ask me? I think you said, do more people need credit repair or something
Yeah. Do I think that it's fell off, man, than what it was in the past when it was that big surge, you know?
Right, and I told you, I said, man, people still got bad credit. I said, but I think what has happened, like with anything, like, I'll say propaganda or people putting out, you know, you put it out enough and people start to believe, like, man, credit repair is a scam, you know, like, this don't work or that don't work. But I keep telling everybody, it's a system. You can't do away with the system. You cannot do away with the system. So once you learn how to maneuver through it, it still works the same. And then when people get that through their head and don't give up and don't try to get a quick, like it's going to happen that fast, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. Even if it takes you 9 months to get your credit back on point, if it takes you a year to get your credit back on point, guess what? It was worth it.
Facts.
It was worth it. Because it could be 7 years.
Facts.
You know, people need to think about that, but they don't. That's where their patience comes. You got to have patience. You got to have patience. And even like what you're talking about, Titus, like, I don't know the story quite how it went in the Bible, but it was pertaining to these brothers that gave them money to go out and sow or whatever. One of the brothers kept his money.
Oh,
or whatever.
You're talking about the story of the talents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like when you give, man, it comes back. Everything hasn't been great with me, everything hasn't went right with me, and some people, people have bad stuff to say about me, but there's more people that have good things to say about me. But
So
it all comes back.
Let's talk about that. When people say, "Man, Corey is scammer. Corey didn't follow through. He didn't do all of this." How do you just bounce and just like, "Oh man, I'm not worrying about that. I know what I did. This may have fell through. That didn't work out right." How do you still maintain like your eagle eye, and just keep going higher, bro? Because you that guy, bro.
Because look, let me tell you this. There's a guy, and I'll say his name. His name is Maurice Meadows, right? Mm-hmm. Maurice got me for $100,000. I never saw the money, but he had a deal for me. I did a real estate deal. The money hit Bank of America. I had my wife wire him the money like straight from that account. Wire him the $100,000. But he got stuff didn't go right. But he was running. He in jail now. He may be getting out, but he ended up doing something. But people that know us, they ask me if his name come up. This is the first time like I'm talking about it, but they ask me, "Man, you seen Maurice, blah, blah, blah." And I actually ran into him when I was with my wife in Las Vegas in the Red Rock casino. And my wife, she's mad, she wanted me to do something to him, but I So I went, I just talked to him like, "Man, all you had to do, whoop-de-whoop, like this happened." But long story short, like, I ain't had nothing to say about him to somebody else. Like if I got enough energy to talk about him, I got enough energy to go give me some more money. Yeah. Like I lost $100,000 to him. I lost $50,000 to a guy named, I ain't gonna say it, in Dallas. I lost $18,000 to a guy right here in Memphis. $12,000 here, $15,000 here. Hey, but I never went into anything like I knew, like I'm not going into nothing that my life completely depends on. Yeah. I get you to do something for me, Lambo, and I say, "Man, if this don't work, my life is over with." I'm never gonna do that. Yeah. I'm never gonna do it. And I tell anybody, like, hey, if your life depend on this, whatever you trying to do with me, and if it don't work, your life is over with, and then you can't bounce back, don't do it. Because I don't know how it's gonna go. And I'll be honest, I'm still honest. Like some people in the past when I was doing credit repair, I didn't finish. Yeah. So I didn't finish. So they had a right to be mad. I didn't finish because some people don't realize once you get into it, you can become overwhelmed, especially if you're doing other things, But they come with the game. They come with the game, and I understood it. That's why I keep it moving. Yeah. Like I keep it moving. Like they're just a part of the game, and you understand as you elevate and things don't go right. Hey, it didn't go right, but I ain't gonna stop. I'm on to the next thing. Like I done been involved in some big stuff even before anybody knew me. I don't know if y'all remember before Michael Jackson died. There was a promoter named Pat O'Lock. He used to do Sting. He used to do the concerts with Sting and all that. They needed an investor to put up like $100,000 for Michael Jackson's the guy, the little trainer guy, I believe. Okay. I'm the minority investor that put up the $100,000. Wow. You know, that deal fell through because he ended up going to do he went with the bigger company. What was it? Live Nation or whoever it was. But my point is, like, I could have lost that money. I could have lost that money when that happened. And if I would have ate it, but I would have kept it moving. That's just some of the stuff I've been through. So when you ask, like, how do I do that? Man, I understand the game. And I know if I put some energy into downing you because something didn't go right or saying, he's a scammer, he this, he that. Okay, if I got that much energy to put into that and put stuff on the internet about you, why I can't have that same energy to say, excuse my language, fuck it, man. I'm finna get to it and get it done myself or whatever. But people don't think like that,
Yeah.
you know? So that's how, like, I just told you, like, I'm not giving, I give my energy like that, my emotions, I give it to my family. I give it to my wife, my kids. Anybody else, like, it's business.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
business, you know?
Yeah. Do you know how many files JT can tell you? I mean, we're going to let Isidro come on right after this because I see him back there. But JT can tell you, man, there's plenty of files where you get to that file, you're working the file, you're trying to help the client out, and it ain't going nowhere. It's just a roadblock. You like, so what more you want me to do at this point, man? I've knocked off enough stuff on your file for you, you know, or whatever we could possibly do. And now, boom, now we're here at this roadblock. What else you wanted to do? I've dropped the ball so many times, Corey. I'm not going to lie to you, man. There was plenty of fouls. Lambo, Drew never got the finish, right? And so
Right.
I just kept going. JT can tell you how many fouls you've done like that, JT. They couldn't finish.
Well, I guess my approach is they probably just quit because I'm gonna stick with it as long as it takes. I've taken over a year with somebody, but you know they're not patient enough. Everybody wants a quick fix, but from jump, like you said, Corey, you know when you look at the aspect of time, and I've had you know multiple situations. I'm not sure if I ever shared my story before, but you know me and my wife filed bankruptcy twice. We had a home foreclosed on, and this all happened before I came across your book. I had somebody take me through a credit repair process, which I really didn't know what it was at that particular time, trying to help us get a new vehicle. But before I read your book, because another friend of mine was getting involved in the credit repair, I was like, man, that's scandalous. I think credit repair is a scam. And so when I read your book and I understood that it was a system, it was like, now this makes sense. You know, and everybody who ain't read his book, y'all need to read his book. It is a top 5 powerful book to help you in your real life.
Yeah.
Thank you, no doubt. Thank you.
Somebody's gonna get that book tonight. I told y'all we already own it. We did already ordered it, man. I done went on here and while I was off thing ordering, making sure that we get this thing ordered for you, man. And that's we're gonna make this thing happen, man, for sure, brother. You ain't even gotta worry about this when this thing comes out, man. This thing is official. So JT, officially, man, if you got any more questions, let me know. If not, man, I really appreciate
I'm
you, man.
gone. Thank you for the opportunity, Lambo. You've been consistent. I know I haven't been around a bit. I've been involved with ministry and trying to take care of this tribe over here. But I do appreciate the opportunity this evening to hop on and talk to someone who's had a great impact on my life, Mr. Smith. And now you know specifically, and I've been able to say it to you. And then Lambo has just taken me and exposed me to so many different other things. And I'm still a work in process, but I have been rejuvenated and re-inspired tonight to do better. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. My God. Well, Corey, man, we got one more last guy, man, on there. I know JT had to do this thing. This will be it, man. You know, and we're gonna make this happen, man. I just thank you for your time, for you coming up.
Man.
Yeah. Isidro, this is my guy, Isidro Corey, man, from Utah, man. You got so many fans, man. I can't let them all in, but just these few we're going to let in, man, to answer some questions, man. So shout out to you, Isidro. Thank you for coming on, man, as usual. And I'll let you go ahead and fire away,
Thank you,
man.
sir.
Corey time, man.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Corey. I resonate with your story in many ways. My journey is kind of new, and I am learning so much and I want to continue learning to be able to help others. So I'm gonna order your books for sure, because Lambo knows that I'm building a library. So you inspire me, and I want to see what is in there, especially when it's about the system. And the reason that I want to do this is because I want to help others, not only closest friends, but I also want. I have a dream to also help the Latino community and kind of translate into Spanish everything that I've been learning in the last 2 years. So my question will be, what kind of advice will you give me in this process, and kind of how to start a strategy that will help me to help others?
Hey, man, you know what? What you just said was revelation to me. It just confirmed, like here in the last week, you know what I said to myself? I got to get all my books translated into Spanish.
All right,
Because remember, I
there you go.
talked about Dave Ramsey being at the top of the list. His
Yeah,
books are
yeah,
translated. You can buy it in Spanish or you can buy it in
yeah,
English.
yeah.
So that's crazy for you to say that. So that lets me know, like, okay, man, I
Hmm.
can go ahead and do this. But
Yeah.
uh, there's a man. I wish there's actually like some AI software that a friend of mine just got me involved in, and the software actually, like talking to you now,
Hmm.
it can actually have me speaking in Swahili, Japanese,
Okay.
Spanish, whatever, like for you to be able to understand. And if you take time out, I'll actually I'll put you in contact with Charles as well, and he can
Okay.
help you with that. Anything like that I have, and you wanted like
Okay.
instantly like switched over to Spanish, you know,
Okay.
he can get you involved in that the AI software. But man, that was just what you
I,
just saying. That's confirmation for me because I always wonder how many people in the Spanish community would actually that my information would actually help, or how many of them would even be interested or
yeah.
need, have a need for the information that I put out. And that's a question maybe you can answer.
Well, I think it's a lot of people start opening their eyes, especially with all the YouTube information there. But there is not a lot in Spanish. There is, but people for the Hispanic community, they're afraid to get scammed, and they pretty much don't want to do anything. So unless it's coming from somebody that they know, or this person can be recommended. But I think the Latino community it's awakening in the process, and I think also they kind of getting tired of always working and not seeing going nowhere. I mean, that's
Right.
what happened to me. Lambo knows my story, but I was working for 35 years for a company, and they sold the company. And I mean, I lost everything I did. I was committed, and uh, pretty much everything. I was planning my retirement when they sold it, and I didn't have a plan. So I guess for me, it's a call, and somehow hearing your story, it's like there is a way not only to change my life, my family life, but also to be able to help others in the process, and with good information, with um, understanding that things work out once you get the right information and the right contacts. So it's awakening, the Latino community is awakening. Here in Salt Lake, it's not a big city, but I can see more and more that is uh, investors that are willing to learn, and just normal people.
Well, you know what, man? Through Lambo, like maybe there's something that I'm really gonna work on. That maybe there's something that we can work together on.
Okay.
As far as getting this, like the information that I have, getting it translated into Spanish, and help you on some other things. So Lambo, like at some point, we need to all make a connection.
Say less. It's done. Lambo about to put it together. I got you, brother.
Thank you so much.
It will be done, man. So and that's it's okay. Did that answer, brother? Did he get you right, man?
Oh, it was more than right. I mean, I appreciate. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, because that's something that it's been, and sir. I mean, it's been in my mind. What's my call? What's my especially after I lost my job, what's my call? What I really passionate about is to help people. And again, I'm new into this journey, and the more I read and the more I listen, there is a little voice that keeps telling me, just keep going, just keep going.
Man, shout out to you for
Lambo, you asked me about the whole trucking journey. Hey, I was in Salt Lake, man, during the wintertime. And there's a place, you're sitting at the light, you can look at the mountains, the most dangerous mountain in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the guy,
coming down from Park City
I'm learning
in winter, it's
We looking at the mountain. We sitting looking at the mountain, and he had just switched with me, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, that's the most dangerous. That's the most dangerous mountain in Utah right there." And I was like, "Well, why you giving me the wheel now?" Like, but hey, I went through it like a champ. Like it was amazing because I've been to a lot of places, but it's just amazing how like you get to the top of these mountains and it's like real, it's like snow for real, and people they're real on top of the mountain, So it's fun. That was scary, but it was fun at the same time. But little side note, I just thought about that when you said you live in Salt Lake. Yeah. But let's get together, man, and see if we can do something.
Sure, for sure. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, IC. We love it, man. IC always bringing that, man. Doing what he does best, man. And that's something big, especially out here in a community. I'm going to tell you how big that is. I had to turn down a gentleman who wanted to connect some people in the Spanish community. That deal was worth upwards in the beginning of 7 figures because there was nobody of a disconnect who really knew how to go ahead and break that thing down and translate it in the Spanish community. And I had to turn it down. Yeah. It's crazy. So that's
we
big.
Gonna get that. We're gonna get that done.
Yeah,
we're gonna get that done.
We're gonna get this money, man. You can say less, right? Issa, you're gonna be the cause of this, man, all right?
Yeah, so we're gonna get that done.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Have a good night.
Right. Thank you, Issa. All right, man. So we up next, man. My guy, Don the Credit God, man. He's the final one of the night, man. Corey P. Smith, man. You got a lot of guys, man, that you done had to embark on. And then really we looking at generations of people, man, who did some things. Don is out there, man, killing the game. Telegram community is definitely on fire. It's been to the show twice, man. Definitely a great brother, man. Young cat killing the game, man. But really, really, really helping motivate people. Don the Credit God, I'm going to let you get your one-on-one, man. You closing it out, brother, so you better ask Corey some good questions, big dog, man. I'll let y'all go ahead and do y'all thing.
Corey, what's up with it, man? Like,
how you doing?
Just all right. Just to see, like, the influence, like, that's just a big impact. Like, I know Lambo was breaking it down to me, like, about how you got started and all that. Like, How long you been doing this? You've been doing this for like 15 years or?
Nah, man. I started messing with credit, man, really like 99 to 2000. Like I started messing with credit like I told you, like I didn't know it like I know it now, but I started to do things like with like I told you, the apartment. I was
Right.
getting the tax ID numbers back then. Those were our CPN numbers to get apartments and cars and stuff like that. So
Like
I kind of
that's what I was just about to ask you, because I was like, man, you was creative back then to where you like the EIN, you using it for as a CPN and making it happen.
yeah, because back then you could get your tax ID number from, like, let's say the IRS and Kansas. They were gonna send you a certain number that you knew was gonna click, like 582. Like you knew that was gonna go. So it wasn't a lot of
Right.
stuff digital now, and it don't work the same, But they're kind of like, but I knew, like, man, I got to get my real information right, because that's when I'll be able to do the most damage. So that's what I did,
Right.
I said, and that's what I tell a lot of people today, like, man, the CPN number, it don't work the same as like it used to. Get your real stuff, fixed if you can.
It's next level, man. There's a lot of stuff that people don't know when it comes to business credit in general.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
People talk about credit card stacking. People really need to be corporate stacking, like corporation stacking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a fact.
I knew like what you were saying, it was just a game changer when you got in tune with business with Age Corps. So that's another question that I want to ask you. Like, when did you like realize like the biggest play that you put together involving Age Corps? Like when was that? Like when was it, when you just knew it was just a game changer? You know what I'm saying? With the Age Corps.
2005. There was a company in Las Vegas called InCorp Services. I used to buy, man, I was buying shell corps like I was buying bricks, drugs. I was buying them up.
Word.
I was buying them up, and I had my credit investor to put behind it. Because you got to think, man, I was getting like 100,000 a week. For real, I was getting like 100,000 a week just off approval. Because back then, like the bank wasn't requiring nothing, but everything was stated. So if you had all the numbers looking right on the app, and then your credit investor had 700 credit score or 680, back then you're gonna get 50. So you hit two banks, you got 100,000. Next week you got another 100,000. And so I was cleaning up then, but I didn't understand the it's a lot of things I didn't understand, bro. So I wasted a lot of money. Like I did a lot of dumb stuff, like taking family members, like, hey, come on, man, let's go to Miami. Don't bring nothing. I got everything. And that was dumb, but spending a lot of time on this and wasting money, So now I'm at a point in my life I understand I respect money, and I respect what it can do for your family. If you use it in the right way. And when I say that, that's why I say when I see guys and there's no knock to people, because I did all that with the jewelry and cars. I had every kind of car you could think of. I just wasn't on the internet with it. I did all that. Now, you might catch you will catch me in a Kia, something like that.
I think that the game is just totally saturated. You know what I'm saying? With clout, and people, they just willing to do anything just to, get the clout, and it's no type of direction, no organization. But definitely like with my movement, that's my plan. Like, is to get people like to where they got some serious accountability partners, and they're moving the money around. It's more of a comprehensive way of people collaborating to get funded. You know what I'm saying? Within 90 days. You know what I'm saying? Just dealing with business credit. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You man, you right. Like, look, when people on these apps, man, the one thing that they have to ask themselves is, like, what am I getting out of if I'm looking at something on it, what am I getting out of? And for the most part, people come to these apps and they're being entertained about things like, it'd be dumb stuff. You know, I'm just gonna say it. I used to say in the past, people would be people rather be entertained than educated. You know, so they come and they entertain by seeing ton of jewelry, Lamborghini, Ferrari, or somebody talking about people's opinions on relationships and all that.
Toxic.
You know,
toxic.
yeah, I'm just not. I mean, you're gonna respect me more, like in this white T-shirt. And if I brought you to my crib, you're gonna respect me more. Like, I ain't showing you like, you know, most people they like to show their jewelry, their cars and stuff off because everybody can't bring you to their crib. You know, everybody can't bring you to their condo. Everybody can't really show you the assets that they have. That's why I made a statement a few weeks ago. I said, credit is most valuable. How old are you, man, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 38.
You're young, right? Yeah. So credit right now in your life is the most, this is valuable time for you. So you need to run it up, do all that you can do with your credit to gain as many assets as you can gain. You gain it now. So when you get to be my age, I'll be 51 this year. I don't depend on credit. Like the bank give me and my wife offers right to this day because they see what we have, they know what we have. So we ain't gotta beg them. They want to give it to us. And that's what you want to be like when you get to the latter part of your life. Like I always say, credit at that point, it needs to be a luxury. Like it ain't even you shouldn't even focus on like even the number. You know, because I was on another call. The lady asked me how long did it take me to get my credit from here to there. Like, but my credit fluctuate if I use it. You know, I might use it. It might be when I was using it like a lot. It might be $690 one month, and then it might be $740 the next month. But you know, I think people just need to, just figure out like, what am I getting off the things that I see on the internet? You know, it's a lot of
that's like, okay, what are you actually gonna do for these people? You know, like you got a mentorship for like 15,000, you got a mentorship for like 30,000, and it's like, oh, you get access to this person, you get access to this person. But it's like at the end of the day, you gotta have a quality. Everybody, first of all, they just gotta have a drive to actually wanna elevate their brand. You know what I'm saying? But
man, let me tell you something.
Man. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I got a real good friend, right? I ain't gonna say his name, but he got a very big following on social media, right?
Right.
And I got another friend that was gonna spend a lot of money with him, like $7,000-8,000, and he was calling me. It's like, Corey, please respond to my message, blah blah blah. I don't want to spend this money if I'm not gonna get nothing out of it. I can't throw my friend under the bus, like, or talk bad about him, because he doing whatever he do.
Right.
But the guy asked me this. I'll say this, and then you put two and two together. The whole point of my friend is he could take your company public, right?
Right.
So if you could take your company public, where is the value? If I take your company public, where is the value? You get that? Because if the
Yeah.
only way it's going to benefit you is if your company has value. If your company has no value, you just pay to take your company public. Your company don't have nothing that people are going to invest in that's going to make your company is valued at $1 billion or $600 million overnight. If it has no value, it's nothing.
You don't have no substance, right?
Right. So I asked him that. He answered. I said, "There's the answer." And people don't think about that because I say they always listening with their eyes.
Facts.
You know?
And that's the main factor of it all. It's like, what is this person actually doing besides teaching? What are the actions they're doing to put you in position, you know, to hold you by the hand, like, and teach you this step by step? There's nobody doing that, man. Like,
yeah, and it's kind of hard. Look, man.
Yeah.
No millionaire gets out of their bed in the morning and say, "I think I want to go make 1,000 people rich today." Don't nobody do that. Don't nobody do that.
Facts.
But people believe it. People believe it, and that's how they get caught up. You're not saying that people's time is valuable, so yeah, they should be compensated, even if it's for their information or something that they know that you don't know, that they took the time out of their life to learn. Yeah, they should be compensated. Now,
Fact.
how much, you have to determine, like, is it worth the amount that they charge? I just always say at times, there's a book called Wealth of the World. So sometimes you have to set prices. You have to set prices where the people can actually afford it if you're talking about helping people, and it all come back, man. I've literally, like, and it's not boasting, I've literally lost millions of dollars, like two times.
Wow.
Twice, bro. Twice. I went through $2 million in 18 months. I had my family staying in a Red Roof Inn, and I remember looking out the window that night, and I had $128,000 Mercedes parked at a Red Roof Inn. Like, man, okay, this makes no sense. And it'd be those moments that really make you think, like, okay, what's important? What's my next move? So that's why I told the guy, he was like, what order should I buy the books in? There's no order. Life is a puzzle. Life is a puzzle, and you have to pay attention and be able to put the right pieces together. And those pieces, they're going to come at different points in your life. You don't know when, but you have to be able to recognize it. And the only way for you to be able to recognize when those points are, you can't be distracted by the things that mean nothing, like the things that hold no value. And I mean, a lot of those things are the material thing, because you want to be like the person that you see. And you don't really know those people. You really don't know their life. You really don't know what's going on. So, this is something to think about.
It's definitely an experience to lose it all and learn from that mistake. It's sort of like, like what George Bush said, like, fool me once, shame on you. You know what I'm saying? Fool me twice, shame on me. You can't fool me again. You know what I'm saying? My main thing is, like, just, you know how fast you can blow money. Like, like, I blew through like 50,000 in like 30 days. You know what I'm saying? And I just, as much as I've been studying and been on my mission, like, as to be like, I currently got like 15 mentees right now, but it's like me just going on that mission and learning about real estate development, being a mentor, you know what I'm saying? I learned that, it's next level, like, you know what I'm saying? But you got people that's not, people gonna do what they want to do at the end of the day. But I think it's about good leadership, though. Just being authentic, being a good leader, and actually providing a service that's gonna get somebody to where they're looking to go, instead of just like, not doing anything. Like, we showing you how to move your money around in the bank accounts. Because when you get the money, what you gonna do with it? You know how quick we could just blow through that money. So just having organization, I think that's just the major key for a lot of people to actually work together in a group, instead of just, with me just teaching and, we on these Zoom calls all day.
Right. Yeah. I feel you, my brother. I completely understand 100%.
But like when you did that book, like that, when you did like your first book launch, when did you like realize, like, what was like the most sales you had like in one day? You was like, man, this is just next level right here with these books.
The most sales that I can remember, because now I don't really tap in like that. But when I was checking, I can remember, like I probably had I had about 600. But this was one book. I had about 600 sales in one day. This was one book. Like now I got 6 books and 1 on the way and 3 in the chamber. Already covers already done. So now I don't too much. I just be waiting on the checks to come at the end of the month. Because if they start to stop, then I'll go, let me look at what I'm doing with my books. I do know the book that I sell the least is the Credit Dictionary. That's because people don't realize it's probably the best book. It's probably the most that I pulled out of my mind, but I gave it the wrong title. And my wife told me I gave the wrong title. Like, people hear me talk about my wife so much. Like,
catchy, I'm not gonna lie, man, but that's just that's what I think. Like,
say what?
Credit Dictionary, that sounds catchy to me. Like,
yeah, but you might be a thinker, but other people think, oh, it's just a book full of credit terms. But it's actually is in that book I express some of the things, like some of the things like that my thoughts and how I was drawing things into my life, whether it was through my words or my visions or what I was thinking. I even wrote a poem in that book called Self. But I do know that's the book that sells the least, But if people actually bought that book and read it, it's to me it's my best. It's my best book, in terms of just talking about life, So, yeah.
No doubt.
I love every last bit of this, fellas, because y'all needed to have this moment to be able to talk about this. I'm looking at the comments and everything else, but this is like, the game passing down the game, man, out here. And I see Corey, man, giving it to Don and everything, man, sucking it all up. I see the community, they already in here in the chats, man, already seeing it. That's what this thing is for. That's what this night was for, Corey. And I just wanted you to see, man, like this has been like your results and stuff like that, man, of you putting in work, but your inspiration of your lineage, because you have put it in and then seeing everybody else coming from behind you, man, And shout out and everything, man, for you, man. Thank you, Don, man, for you coming on here, man. Really showing love, man. Really tapping into Corey, man. Who I definitely told you, man, you couldn't go ahead, and I couldn't let that go. He kept saying, Lambo, I'm in and out. I'm still backstage. Like, yo, y'all gonna get to me, Lambo.
Always a pleasure, man. Yeah.
We had to just say the best for last and stuff like that, man. So appreciate you, King, man. Now, we getting ready we're gonna make sure we give away some books. So everybody, if you ask the question on here tonight, everybody, y'all get a book, man. That's on Lambo. You asked the question, you came up, you get a book. You get a book. So if Issa get a book, Don, you get a book. Jamal Titus, you get a book. Kennard Haney, you get a book. Y'all make sure that you guys, y'all already know, man, y'all can send me y'all information Send me your address or whatever the case may be, or how you guys want to receive that book. 612-547-8826. Go ahead and send it to that. I'm gonna make sure we take care of you guys, man. Send that book out to you. When Lambo gets it, you guys get a book, man. It's official, man. That shout out to coming out here on the show and doing your thing, man. So we appreciate you guys for that. Again, 612-547-8826. Everybody who stepped up, cammed up, mic'd up, came to this show and said, Corey, man, we want to ask our questions. Y'all get the book. Lambo blessing with y'all the book tonight. Y'all already know what time it is, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Don. All right, so Corey, brother, man, I want to thank you, man. 2 hours, brother. You know, Lambo had you, man, on the show. Just wanted to give that to you, man. Listen, let the people know how you can go on ahead, man, and they can stay tapped into you and definitely be connected with all the movement and everything that you are doing, man, and seeing some great results, man, of what's to come, especially being able to pick that new book up on November the 1st. Because for y'all who might be cammed up tonight, got blessed with the book tonight and everything, man. And Lambo's going to put that to y'all. So make sure, again, y'all guys send y'all address to that wonderful text, man, at the bottom of the screen. Go ahead, Corey.
My website is www.coreypsmith.com. You can find me on Facebook, CoreyPSmith.com. Instagram, Corey P. Smith. Everything else, Corey P. Smith. TikTok, LinkedIn, Amazon, type in Corey P. Smith. I even have some, let me say this, I have some t-shirts that I'm trying to come up with some new designs, because I have merch on Amazon where I sold t-shirts for the longest, but I never promoted it. So, you know, I said, man, I'm gonna start doing more with it, you know, since they gave me the opportunity to sell my merchandise on Amazon years ago.
Okay.
But yeah, you know, everything Corey P. Smith, you want to find me, man. Hey, the guy that wants to get the information to his community, we definitely, we gotta put that together.
You can say less, brother. What I'm telling you, by the time this show is done, it'll be put together. Lambo don't play no games when it comes to that, man, because I understand where the connections are at, the resources are at, the people are at, man, and especially, man, the impact is at. So, Corey, you got that, brother. You can say less, man. That's happening. Yeah. Again, make sure you guys definitely go tap into my guy. Definitely CoreyPSmith.com. Follow him on IG, Facebook, TikTok, Amazon, Corey P. Smith. Just type it in. You can't go ahead and go nowhere. Like I said, you guys want to order the book. I'm giving y'all the book to make sure that you guys get it. Everybody, man, like I said, who tapped in tonight, you guys are getting the book that Lambo is purchasing tonight. All right, 4 books is coming out to y'all, so y'all already know y'all tapped in. I really appreciate y'all for that, man. You know, and I'm feeling kind of generous, man. I really am. I think I may give out one more book. Corey, give him somebody who, if you are not Jamal Titus, Kennard Haney, you ain't Don the Credit God, if you ain't Issa, Jamal, Don, and Ken, you get one more chance to get a book. I'm giving out 5 books tonight, so y'all better be on here, man. All right, give them a good question so that if they've been paying attention on this show, so that they can win a book, man. We're doing 5 books tonight, man. Talk to me.
You want me to give them a good question?
You ask the question, Corey. You ask the question.
Man, you make me feel like I'm teaching again.
Man, hey, that's what this thing is about, man. They already know.
Well, I mentioned something about. I talked about the world, and I talked about how it hit me that this place, which is like the outside world, that's easy. When I saw, one human being ask another human being to do something.
Oh yeah, I'm about to give you your solo shot with that. Y'all hear it? Y'all, go ahead and ask it. Go ahead, Corey, because you talked about that. I know what it is, but For those and everything who want to win that extra book, y'all put it in the chat. And if not, somebody gonna win double for somebody else and everything if they don't answer fast enough. Go ahead.
Yeah, like you could just, where was I working at then? Because I actually had a job. What was I doing when I realized that, hell, the outside world is the same as this place that I'm working in, and human beings reflect the behavior of the people that, you know, where I was working at. That's easy. Easy. That's it, Lambo.
All right, that's it. Y'all put it in the chats. First shout out and everything, man, to my cuz in the building, man. Did he get it right or what, man? Did he get it right or what?
Yeah, he got it right. Yeah.
My cuz, you get number 5, man. Number 5 on the book, man. You win it, man. Listen, it's 5 books going out, man. DD's, you was up close second, man. Inside corrections, man. Oh, man. It's look. You got to be faster next time. I tried to tell y'all, man. It's almost like that dollar with the commercial, man. So again, man, we love it. We love it. Appreciate you, DD's, man, for definitely tapping in and trying out here. But my cousin Errol, make sure y'all send y'all address. I'm serious, man. Send y'all address so I can send y'all book to y'all. You're right. Lambo's getting 5 books. So making sure, man, y'all all send me y'all address. That's Errol, that's Ken, that's Issa, that's Don, that's Jamal, and who else was it? Errol, Ken, Issa, Don, Jamal, and then dang, who we missing? Who we missing, Corey? Who we missing, bro? I'm trying to figure it out. Huh? I'm gonna go off of who came on first. It was Ken, Jamal, Issa, then Don, then Errol. That's right. That's all 5 right there. So y'all make sure y'all send me y'all address. Y'all getting a new book, man. On Lambo. Y'all done won it, man. Shout out to y'all. I got y'all, man. We gonna make sure we go all the way up, man. Corey, brother, I really, man, appreciate you, brother, for you coming to the show, man, and really showing so much love to all of us and really blessing us. Yeah, people, man, on the work uniforms, getting it in at the job, making sure that they was plugged into you to ask you the questions, brother. But I really giving you homage and flowers, brother, for what you have done for Lambo's life and helped change my life, but helping change so many countless of other lives. But giving back to you, my brother, man. Corey, if there's anything you need this way, Lambo is saying, brother, hey, you definitely always got a seat right back here on the show, but you definitely got a connection, man, right here with this community. I'm going to make sure I get that connection with you and my guy, Isidro, after the show, man, and anything else that we need, brother, we going to make it happen, man. I love you guys, man. You know, me and Corey, man, really put a lot into this. And, Corey, if there's anything left you want to say, man, let the people know out here, brother.
Oh, no, man. I appreciate you for having me on. Like, I just wish, hey, if you, whatever it is, whoever on the other side of this phone, like, man, whatever it is that you know, dreaming about, where you want to be in life, just go after it. That's what I did. I know that may sound cliche, but, you know, just think about, remember I said, you know, why? That's it.
Yeah, facts, man. Shout out and everything. He can't close it off better than that, man. You guys have definitely be tapped in and tuned in to hear from one of the best, one of the GOATs, one of the gentlemen who has sparked the revolution for so many of us all out here and made us go on ahead and step our games up, man. The one and only Corey P. Smith.
No doubt. Appreciate it, my brother.
Appreciate you, my brother, man. We out here the next time. Y'all already know, man. Every Tuesday and Thursday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. PST. We go up right here on The Leverage Show, man. And can't wait to bring you the hottest guests. You guys make sure you guys share this video. Get this video out to everybody you personally can, because I'm telling you, it will help change somebody's life from hearing the information, man, that my guy Corey has dropped tonight. I really want to thank you guys again. Go follow him on all social medias. Go to the website. Order the books. Go support this brother. Support this movement. Support this GOAT. Protect this legend. We love you, man. We thank you guys. Till next time, it's your boy Lambo Drew. It's been an honor to have my special guest, Corey P. Smith, the one and the only, the legend. We out of here, y'all.